Hi everyone, so some interesting news for you all. A water company is going to pay my plumbing bill for a job, yeah, and yours too. If you live in the southwest Water have got this little thing going at the moment up until the 8th of April, not long unfortunately. But if you've got a leaky loo, by that I mean water that runs down the back of the pan, it's very hard to see because it's very fine sometimes. Now, the water board reckon you could lose up to £70 in water there in a year because you just don't see it and it's just going all the time. So they've devised a way that might help you to get this job sorted out, because obviously it's costing them as well. So they've made this offer whereby you can get £150 towards the cost of having the part done by a plumber, which goes quite a long way towards it because it's not a very big job, to be honest. Or if you fancy doing it yourself, then they will pay you for the parts. All you've got to do is keep the receipt for the parts, okay, and you get an envelope that you can put it into and send it back to them, and they will pay that. So I think this is a pretty good offer and something really that's should be forthcoming from maybe your authorities soon, because I think it's a great idea. So this is very easy. So what I'm going to do is take you through the job right now, because it's very easy. You get these leaky loo stickers and it's quite an easy job to do. I'll show you the actual job. It's mainly concerning push button loos that do this problem where the leak runs down the pan. So first thing off, before we get into the toilet itself, you'll have this in the envelope, and this is our leaky loo stickers. Alright, there they are, and you get two for a reason. I'll show you why later, but we've got to stick one of these on the back of the pan. I'll show you where it's going to go, and this is to kind of show up to you if you have this leaky loo problem. Now you've got to go and dry the back of the pan with a tissue first. Okay, so it's nice and dry. Give it 30 minutes, then stick this along the back, and I'll show you this in a second. And then we got to wait. Now, do not flush the toilet for 3 hours. Okay, leave it and then come back and see if it's wet. This will shine up if it's wet. You'll see that it is. And it's even better if you could actually stick it on the back of the toilet and leave it overnight without flushing. But I know if you're like me, you have to go too many times a night to be able to do that one. So the 3 hours is good enough, but if you've got two loos, of course, you've got no problem. Okay, so that's the next job. Let's stick this on the back of the toilet. First job then is to dry the back of the pan. Bit of tissue right across here, just under the lip part there. Okay, see that there, make sure it's nice and dry, and then we're going to wait half an hour before we put the sticker on. Half an hour's gone then, so we're going to peel off our leaky loo sticker here, alright, and stick it on the back of the toilet where I've showed you. There's our leaky loo sticker in place. Now we've got to wait. Back 3 hours later, and you can see that my loo is leaking. I now know I've got a leak here. Now, to be truthful, I did know I've got one here. It's been leaking for about a couple of weeks now. I've been meaning to get around to it, so now's a good time for me to do it and to show you guys how to do it. So let's get stuck in. So I've got a shelf above mine. I've got to get all that off first. Let's do that first and clear this lot away. Okay, that's the shelf off. Now we're going to take the lid off. Now, when you take the lid off, don't turn any water off or anything yet. Okay, I want to look at something first, and that's I want to check whether the ball cock is running at all first before we do anything else. So this here is the ball cock, okay, and this is the part we're primarily concerned about, the push button flush mechanism. This is more than likely 9 out of 10 going to be the problem, the sealing washer. So, but before we turn any water off, we want to make sure that this valve is not letting by. If the valve is letting by, you will have water going down this overflow here, and it's easy to put your finger down it and see if it's dry. I mean, I can see it's got a good ½ inch to get up to that level anyway before it overflows. The fact we've waited 3 hours without flushing it means that the valve is solid. It's all fine, we needn't worry about that. But if it's running down at overflow, then that could well be the problem, more maybe than the flush. But first of all, do you check that it's not running down there. We know it's not now, we know the valve's okay, so now we're going to turn the water off to the system. A lot of times there will be a little valve feeding up to the cistern, an isolation valve. This one's a very decent quality one, so I know I can turn this one safe without it leaking. If you've got the old screwdriver type, it's a cheap one and you don't fancy moving it in case they leak, because they can leak, then do turn it off at the mains, okay? But I know that this little one is a high quality Pegler type, and they're pretty fail safe, pretty good. So that's it, the water is now off. Now then, we're safe to flush this now, get it flushed away. We're now ready to take the siphon part out of the cistern, so it's quite easy. Most of them just twist and pull out. Okay, we're just going to twist it around, pull upwards, and you'll feel it lock under like that, and you can pull it away like that. And here we have the actual device, and there is the problem. This is that washer I'm telling you about. Now there's an easy way you can try first if you want to, which is literally to take this off of here and turn it around the other way, which is what I'm going to do. Quite often that works most of the time. If you're not sure about doing that, you can get the washer very, very cheap, okay? Any plumbing store will do them, and you can put a new washer on if you'd rather do that. But I'm just going to turn it around and show you that now. So there we are, I've just pulled it off, okay, and we're going to turn it over like this, alright? It's a bit awkward to pull them in, but you just pull it round and in like so. Like that, and then give this all a clean off. Okay, you can wash it under the tap if you want. Give it a good clean and we're nearly ready to put it back. So I've turned my wash around, but I've actually found a fault with my one. It's a bigger fault than that. And if you look here, you can see that it's been leaking out of here and running down there. Now I know the washer should still seal it, but I know that now there's a problem with this siphon there, so it's sometimes best to replace the siphon. You'll have to buy the whole thing and just use the middle bit, or replace the whole thing in the cistern. If you don't feel up to that, then do get a plumber and spend that £150 that the water council are going to give you, well, down here in South West Water are, and replace the whole thing, which you could still do. But this is just basically a quick DIY job. If you see anything like that though, it's time to renew it. So I'm just going to put this back because I'm just showing you, but I know now I've got to get a complete siphon. Now before it goes back, just make sure there's no swoof around this part where it sits, okay? There are no bits and pieces sitting in the way. It's easy done. Something's left there and it jams on it. Make sure that it's all okay and clear, no hard water or bits and pieces. Can be anything, but just check it with your finger, run it around it. If it's all fine, that's it, we're ready to go. Put it back in. Ready to go back then? Put it back in again. Make sure you feel it in the grip. Yep, it's in there. And get it clicks into place. It can't turn anymore, so you know you've got it. And if you try and pull it up, it won't, because it's locked in place. And that is virtually it. Now we're just going to turn the water back on. Water back on. Now this is the time again for our other leaky loose sticker, because once the lid's on and you're happy everything's fine in there, we're going to remove the old one that's come away. We'll get rid of that. It is biodegradable, it will flush, you can flush it away, it says, so it's no big deal. But we're going to dry it again, give it 30 minutes, make sure it's completely dried off, and then we're going to stick the sticker back on there and then wait 3 hours and see if it gets wet, or best if you can overnight, obviously if you can wait that long. But really that's about it, and I think it's absolutely a fantastic idea. The best thing I've seen South West Water come up with in a long time. This is something that helps us at home save water, and our bills of course, and the company as well of course. So I think it's actually a fantastic idea. And I think the good thing is, if you don't fancy doing this job, and I can see why you wouldn't, you can call in a plumber and know that you're covered for 150 quid's worth of bill. And I think most times you would be covered. I think it's only if you've got to take that siphon right out of the cistern, like I'm going to have to do with this one, because I know it's got a definite fault on it now, and renew the whole thing, that it may be more than a bit of 150, but it would still go a long way towards covering the cost of it. So there you are, that's about it then. So I'll see you next time. I think that's been a good one for me. I enjoyed doing that one. Something that's for nothing is really good. So that's it. See you next time. Derek and 33. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.